So I'm doing this live today to talk about COVID and depression, what's going on with everyone, how's everyone coping with depression, and what are they actually doing for on dealing with it. So I decided to do this live because someone sent me a message and it said, every time you post something, you look so positive and happy, and they're depressed and been suicidal. And I was like, wait a minute, maybe I'm sending the wrong message because I also go through my struggles. Thanks, T. Jones. Yeah, it's a great topic. So, join me, request to join anyone who's here who want to talk to me about it. But I just felt like, am I projecting the wrong image online? And I started my Instagram page about a month ago. In January. And it was more to communicate with women with breast cancer and be in the breast cancer community. So I felt that my page would basically promote positivity. But in the same time, I feel like now that I'm promoting a lot of positivity, whoever's looking at my page and who's following may think that I don't have down days. And we all do. I am one who also have down days. But these are not things that I put on my page. Hi, Journey to Wellness. So we're talking about COVID and depression. I was just explaining how I received a message from someone who said I am always positive on my page and she's down. So I sent her a message letting her know, look, I'm down too. So I just wanted to have a conversation. Hi, Mary. Hi, Papa. So ladies, I just want to have an open conversation about COVID and depression, how we're dealing with it. Some people had depression before COVID and some people got depression while in COVID. Now, I haven't dealt with depression during COVID, but I have been extremely down during COVID, and I've kept myself from leading to being depressed. So let me just let you, so Miss T. Jones said, I don't think your posts are giving a negative image. I think personally people are severely struggling with forms of depression. I agree. So I don't think my posts are negative, but I think sometimes it's best, maybe I should also add when I'm down. I don't know. And again, you have so many people who's looking at your page, hide your expressions, and you don't know what people are thinking. So I just wanted to, hi Scarfitude, thanks for joining. So we talk about depression and COVID, how we're dealing with it. So I just kind of wanted to speak a little bit of how I've dealt with it. So prior to COVID, last year, I'm a full-time working mom of two. I was married, divorced, so I have a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old son. And I am in a relationship. But hi, Jazzy Fit. Thanks for joining. We're talking about COVID and depression. I was telling the ladies a little bit about prior to COVID, how my life was and how my life now is with, during this whole COVID thing. So prior to COVID, I was a working mom full-time, working in, great company. I'm managing a great team. I have two boys who are in a lot of sports, and I'm in a relationship. I've been in my relationship for about 4 years now. So I had a pretty active life. On the weekends, going to basketball games, and the weekends I wasn't going basketball games. I was doing date nights. So Miss T. Jones said, keep saying love of self-love. It will give others hope. Thanks, T. Jones. That's what I thought I was doing. So prior to that, I was basically active in my life, meaning work, kids, social life, and then everything just stopped. And of course, treatment for breast cancer. So everything suddenly stopped. So with me, with my treatments, after my treatment, I get down anyway. That is one of the side effects of my treatment, Herceptin and Perjeta. For me, it makes me down for a couple of days, and I have to kind of uplift myself. So when COVID started, everything stopped. I was working from home every day. My kids were home every day. My boyfriend at the time, his job stopped. So everyone was shut down and everyone's home. And at first it was great. I mean, I think a lot of people actually enjoyed it. Like, oh, I have time with my kids. I'm seeing my boyfriend more. I'm around my mom more. And then after that, months went by, and depression set in. Because how I dealt with being down prior to COVID was, oh, I'm not feeling down. Let me buy something to go out on Saturday. Let me go on a dinner. Let me go somewhere with my kids. Let me go on vacation. So once that stopped, I honestly did not know how to deal with being down. There was no more distractions. And I feel like for a lot of people, you had to deal with whatever home environment you had. If you had a disruptive home environment, or you were not in a happy relationship, or your kids drove you crazy, which mine did, now you had to deal with that. Some people I know, as far as coworkers, they use the job to deal with whatever issues they were going at home. And that was the way that they kind of like separated from what was happening at home. But once you're at home, if you didn't have a safe environment at this particular time during COVID, then you were basically in deeper depression. So with me, I went up and down, but it got to the point where I was really down. It was happening for continuously. So I went to therapy. I called my oncologist and I was telling, look, I am feeling down and I'm not able to get out of this slump. I have side effects from all my medication. Mind you, during COVID, this is when my cancer came back. So that was a whole different thing I was dealing with. So I started doing therapy. And again, my breast cancer journey was never shared online. This was something that a few people, maybe a handful of people knew about. So after therapy for a couple of months, I decided to start the Instagram page. I also have a Facebook page where I just speak about my journey, connect with women. I do lives. So T. Jones said, I have to admit, my relationship with my therapist is amazing. It took a few tries to find the right one, but once I did, it's great. Ty Jones, correct. Therapy is one of the best things ever. And I never thought I needed therapy. It's some kind of taboo sometimes, not as much anymore, but I went. I've never even seen my therapy. Hey, Coco, thank you for joining. We're talking about COVID and depression and everything else. So, and now we're talking about therapy. So I did therapy while I was in COVID, and I've never actually even seen my therapist. It's a conversation over phone, but she's been great. And she's been able to help me open up about my breast cancer. Able to talk about it, able to stand in my truth, able to feel empowered and everything else. So after speaking to her for a couple of weeks, almost 2 months, I started the Instagram page and I became part of, I guess, the breast cancer community via online. So thanks, T. Jones. Yeah. So Ty Jones, sorry. So that's how I felt going to therapy. But a lot of people, can't afford a therapist because of insurance. A lot of other people feel it's not for them. And one thing I've realized, a lot of people don't want to deal with their issues. I mean, when you're dealing with therapy, you have to go deep down and talk about issues you have in order for it to work. So I learned that because in the beginning, I was really not opening up. And I was like, Farrah, if you're going to go to therapy, you need to make it work. You need to be totally honest about your feelings that's happening with your breast cancer. You need to talk about your fears of death. You need to talk about your fears of getting more sick. So once I started doing that, I felt more empowered and able to feel positive more. Even with this whole breast cancer, my life is not consumed with death and breast cancer and everything else. So that was one thing that helped me through COVID. Another thing that helped me through COVID, not hit depression. Again, I had my sad days, but I know there's a lot of people who's going through deep depression, who's been suicidal, and it's not good. So with me, I try to use different things to keep me mentally going, because again, depression starts with your mental state. So Scarfitude said, I hid my downtime with work until I realized 2 years ago I needed a break. I tried that, Scarfitude, throwing myself into it, but after that I realized that it was no longer working for me because I was just doing too much. I was like, look, they're not paying me more for me doing these extra hours. So I had to learn to kind of separate. And that was another thing I had to deal with, working from home and COVID. And Tygel said, when did you become a true believer with the therapist? I became a true believer with my therapist when I actually started my Instagram page. And it's very weird because as much as I tell other people about my cancer, I didn't let it be known, I think, to the world. It was like, okay, maybe a handful of people knew. So I had a prior Instagram page to this one. Thank you, Scarfitude. Yeah, this is why I do the live. She said, you're doing well talking, it helps. Yes. So I had a previous Instagram page to this one. And I've had it for years. And again, if anyone follows me on that Instagram page, you wouldn't know I had cancer. There was no breast cancer survivor. There was one picture I put, but it was nothing. If you kind of glanced at it, you wouldn't even know anything about it. There was nothing there that would let you know I was going through what I was going through. You know how we do. We put the pictures that look good. And everybody's thinking, oh my God, she's great. She's living great. So after I had my therapist session, I was like, wow, Farrah, you're able to speak to this woman for almost an hour about breast cancer. There's so many women out there who probably don't have anybody to talk to. They don't have the support. You're now in a better mental state to help someone else or talk to other people, motivate, influence, empower, support. I started my Instagram page, and it was great because I had so many people following me and contacting me who's watching my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Surviving Breast Cancer in Stilettos. I put videos, so it was a good thing. So to answer your question, T. Jones, that's when I realized that my therapy was actually working. But I've done so many things during COVID to keep myself going. One, I started reading again. It's crazy because I had to tap into what I did as a childhood. So I'm an only child. I was raised by a single mother with my grandmother. I didn't have a lot of friends. So I was always at home, and I became very creative at home, meaning I used to color, I used to draw, I used to play with my dolls, I used to make dance routines, I used to watch TV. So I had to tap back, and like, of course, there's certain things I did as a child I didn't do now. Hi, Steph. I'm talking about COVID, depression, and what I did to kind of not get to a depressed state. Thank you, T. Jones. She said, excellent. Love your testimony. Coco said, I started a YouTube channel to document my journey. It was very big. Thank you, Coco. Put the link in. Send it to me after so I can follow you and follow your journey. But YouTube is great. Instagram is great. So and that helps me. I have to say YouTube is something else I started on during COVID, because that was something additional to do. I got dressed up. I did the videos. I do lives every Wednesday. I try to connect with other women. So that has helped me. Hey, Jessica. So that has helped me through COVID. Another thing that's helped me through COVID is tapping into being around positive people. So that's what I did. I try to connect with positive people. Unfortunately, I couldn't connect with positive people unless I was with them, unless it was online. So I did a lot of connecting online with other women who was going through my situation, because my other Instagram page, I couldn't connect with the other people because obviously they were going through breast cancer. I went back to also watching old TV shows that used to make me happy back in the days, because again, right now in the news, everything I saw was COVID. If it wasn't COVID, it was about cancer. If it wasn't about cancer, it was somebody dying, people dying. So I kind of tuned out from watching like CNN and all those channels about the death toll is this much. This amount of people has COVID. Because with COVID, it's not like we're just worried about our health as breast cancer survivors, thrivers, but we're also worried about the health of our parents, our grandparents, or anybody who have underlying issues. It's not like when we were dealing with cancer, we were just worried about ourselves. Now we had our whole family to worry about. And it wasn't just worrying about their health, it's worried about if they're going to die of COVID. So I started watching old sitcoms. Like I was watching Martin from back in the day. If anybody know what that is, any sitcoms that used to make me happy. Hi, Coco, great idea. Watching old shows, that is the best. Like I love Martin. I used to watch Martin. I watched Martin. They give it, if anybody lives in New York, they give Martin on BET late at night. I was watching the Parkers. I was watching I went back to I Love Lucy, Facts of Life, Different World, and I started watching movies, good feel-good movies, like movies that made me happy when I used to watch back in the day. So I did that. I tried to binge watch certain things on Netflix, but I couldn't get into stuff. And there were certain shows that I was watching that they no longer showed anymore because of COVID. So all these shows were now put on pause. So I couldn't watch them. So I had to go back. And the things that they were showing on TV was no longer interesting. So that was one way I dealt with it. I did a lot of shopping on Amazon, ladies. Yes, I did. And it's crazy. I did a lot of purchasing knickknacks around the house, things I didn't even need. And some of them I returned. It was just something for me, like purchasing something, waiting for them to deliver it, opening up the box. So I did that. I did a lot of senseless shopping, but of course I did return them. So I did that. I also started reading. I'm reading Coldest Winter Ever. That was one of my favorite hood books, urban novels back in the day. I started reading that. There's a part 3 that's out now, so that was good. Amazon. Oh yeah, Amazon was killing. I'm telling you, when I looked last in COVID, I ordered over 200 something items in Amazon in 2020. Like last year, that's how many items I ordered. Over 200 something. And the crazy thing, I only kept about less than 100 of them, just returning stuff back and forth. So I did that. I worked. That was one. I tried to be engaging with my kids, but they're just into their video games. I started a YouTube channel, the Instagram. I just try to, I work out. I try to work out as much as possible to keep my mental state going. And I did a lot of go looking on YouTube and watching people who like, not so much preaching, but inspirational speakers. So I did a lot of stuff around the house. As much as I thought when this started, oh, I'm going to go around and clean my attic, I'm going to do all this stuff. No. A lot of the stuff I thought I would do, I didn't. Because when you're working, you think, oh my God, if I had the time off, I would go and clean my attic. I would rearrange my closet. I've been in COVID for almost a year and I haven't done any of that stuff. And I don't, that's part of just being down, is like, whatever, I'm not even doing. So one of my issues, well, I don't know if it's an issue, but something I'm going through now is working from home. So I took the vaccine, and I'm definitely going to do a YouTube video about that. I took the first vaccine. I'm scheduled to take the next one next week. And I'm definitely going to put a YouTube video to talk about my experience with taking the vaccine. I did have some side effects from the first one, nothing big, but again, I'll put that on my YouTube channel. But I just want to kind of feel like, hi, Big Mac. So I'm talking about COVID and dealing with depression. So as far as trying to deal with depression, a lot of people feel like therapy is the best way. And I totally agree. But again, a lot of people can't afford a therapist. A lot of people right now are not working and don't have medical. And these therapists cost money. And I feel like since COVID's been happening, these prices have jacked up. So another thing is support groups. I've joined a couple of support groups, which has been very good for me. I try to join support groups where the women are about my age group, who I feel like have the same issues that I currently have. So that's actually been helping me out. But again, finding the right support group for you may not always be easy, but there are so many different avenues you could go through. I mean, Facebook has support groups. Instagram has a lot of support groups. There's a lot of people who do Zoom. And so I think support groups is another way of kind of tapping in and meeting other people that could potentially help you with the depression. But if your depression is to the where you're feeling suicidal, your best thing is definitely to get therapy. And I know there's hotlines out there. When I watch TV, I see hotlines. If you feel suicidal, call this number. You can always Google online. So that's one thing. There's a difference between feeling down and feeling depressed. So Scarfett, you said, you sure doing well. Well, I feel that I do well, but I have a lot of down days. I try, but there are some days I'm like, Farrah, is it just the medication? And the late thing too, ladies, we're taking so many medication. Well, I know I am. I do Herceptin and Perjeta every 3 weeks. So that stays in my body for a long time. I'm taking letrozole every day. So Steph said, that's so awesome that you have the vaccine. We are still waiting for them in Toronto. Yeah, well, with the vaccine, that's a whole thing. I was able to get in, and the reason I was because my hospital called and said, we're going through all our cancer patients. We only have 400 of the vaccines. Do you want to get it? And I went out and got it. And I have to say, getting the vaccine made me feel better. Now, I haven't gotten the second shot. My mom just got the first shot herself. So I'm a little weary about it because a lot of people I know who did take the second shot said they were really sick. So I'm prepared to get sick from the second shot because I did have side effects from the first one. But I'm like, look, whatever I get after the second shot, I know it's not as bad as taking treatment, and it's not as bad as getting actual COVID fully. So I'll be okay. I enjoy talking with others for thriving from cancer. So Scarfitude, I totally agree. Speaking to other women who is actually going through the same thing that you are is probably one of the best therapy. It's therapy in itself, because a lot of the therapists that not a lot, but the therapists that's out there, they don't, well, the one I have, she's not a breast cancer survivor. Now, does that make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. But again, I try not to think about that, because when I speak to her, I don't want to think, oh, she doesn't know where I'm coming from. As a woman, she knows already some of the things that I'm going through. So I try not to solely focus on, I need to get a therapist that has or had breast cancer. But speaking of other women that has breast cancer is one of the best things, because we know exactly what each other's going through. As women, we already have issues. We already have things going on, ladies. With our hormones and everything else, we already have things going on. But speaking with someone that has breast cancers, it's a different level. Whatever we had going on or issues we had prior has sometimes intensified by 10. When I say that is, if you were depressed before breast cancer, before COVID, you are now even more depressed. because there's really nothing to do at this point. So I noticed that a lot of places are opening up, like Texas. I'm still wearing my mask. I'm going to eventually get the second vaccine. I still don't feel comfortable enough to walk around with no mask. I think for me, that is pretty selfish to me. I mean, if you have the vaccine, at this point, from what I'm listening to and seeing, and I could be wrong, you could still get COVID. You may not even know you have it. The side effects are so minimal that you might not realize you're even sick or anything. But then you could pass it on to somebody else. So for me, after I get my vaccine, I'm still going to continue wearing my mask. I still feel comfortable wearing my mask. My mom got the vaccine. My boyfriend didn't get the vaccine because he's not eligible. My kids didn't get the vaccine. I'm around my grandma who's 97 years old. So it's pretty selfish of me not to wear my mask because I got the vaccine. So with COVID and depression, I just feel like the best way to deal with depression is to connect with positive people. With COVID, there are so many people who are negative, thinking negative, who feel negative towards them. They could actually spew that onto you. So if you're dealing with anyone in your life right now that is negative, whether it be a friend, whether it be somebody on Instagram, whether it be anybody else, separate yourself. Because at this point, whoever you're dealing with that surrounds you that's negative, they're just going to bring you down. And when you're down, sometimes it's hard for you to uplift others because you're in a negative state. So even if you want to try to lift someone else, try to find someone who's not so down where they're draining you. Because that also happens. Speaking to other people who's really down and you're down and not their problem becomes your problem is not helpful. And with COVID, ladies, we need to still continue to protect yourself. I decided to take the vaccine. I know a lot of people have different feelings as far as whether or not they should take that vaccine. I, in the beginning, was not 100% on taking the vaccine. But then I was like, you know what, Farah? I looked at the news. The vaccine hasn't killed millions of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people like COVID has. I am somewhat of a high risk. I don't know what the side effects of the vaccine may be 2 to 3 years from now. But I'm like, look, I won't be the only one who would have to deal with those side effects because there are many people who have taken the vaccine. So ladies, I want to hear from you out there. What are you doing for depression? How you deal with COVID? So with me right now, I am working from home. And it seems like I may be working from home permanently. It may happen due to what's happening with COVID. My company is doing very well working from home. So it may be long term. So that is somewhat of a downer for me because I feel like when things get back normal for everyone else, I may still be living like I'm in COVID, meaning I'll be still working from home. Hey, Kava, I'll still be working from home. And it's one of those things that I'm a little down. I like going to the office. I like being around other people. So me working permanently from home, I now have to mentally prepare myself for this to be long term because this is a job that I love. I'm still young. I'm in my 40s. So if I'm looking to retirement, that's another 20 somewhat years in the company if it continues to do well. So when I think about, I'm like, Farah, do you see yourself being home every day for that long of a time? I mean, I've been working since I was in my early or mid 20s. Going to work. I work in the city. If anybody lives in New York, I work in Manhattan, Park Avenue. I dress up every day to work. And now I'll just be stuck at home wearing my head wraps, my bonnets on a daily basis. So I also feel like I need to start looking for other things to do. So Steph said, I'm working from home as well. So I try to get out and excited, hitting the parks and trail. It gives me so much bounce. Yes. So Steph, I actually did that. I noticed that I kind of got into this routine where I was just working, helping myself with homework and staying home. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't go outside for 5 days. And it was okay because it's winter time, but it started being nice outside. So once that happened, yesterday I actually went outside. I walked for at least an hour and that made me feel better. But I'm the type of person that can't just walk around aimlessly and not do anything. So like you said, Steph, I think going to the park that would probably help me if I am going to be working from home permanently. So Coco said I was working from home before COVID, so I'm used to it. I love it. So Coco says she loves working from home. So Coco, please type, what do you love about working from home? I, in the beginning, loved it too. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I'm able to run my errands. I'm able to cook. I'm able to save money. But when I think about what am I going to do for my clothes? Like, I have tons of stuff that I haven't even worn yet to work. My co-workers is through Zoom. I mean, I had, like, what am I literally going to be doing? Like, after a while, I'm just like, am I going to be auctioning all my clothes, all my shoes, everything I used to wear to work? She said, I have 2 days. I work 2 days, office 3 days. Exactly. So you have a balance. You work 2 days in office, 3 days at home. So that's what I would love to do. I would love to have a balance. I don't want to go to work every day because that is a lot also. But I would like to at least go in the office twice a week because that gives me a balance, walking around people, seeing people. I used to commute. My commute was like an hour and it was like about an hour and 15 minutes. But that was time to myself. Like, Kava said, I would love to work from home. COVID lockdown had me living my best introvert life. Okay, so Kava, you're an introvert. I'm not. So for me, that did not work. I like sometimes being around people. I like talking to people. I like getting dressed and going to work. So with me, it was good in the beginning because everybody was at home. But now that I find out, like, my boyfriend's back to work, I know other people who's back at work, not in my company. And I'm like, okay, I will be at home. When things come back, hopefully normal and everybody's going out, I'm still going to be at home working 5 days during the week. Like, I never thought of myself as being someone working from home. I wanted to kind of balance it out. So Coco said, I love the freedom. I love the freedom too. I'm able to wake up at it, and I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to worry about getting up a whole hour to get ready for work. I could just roll out of bed and join my Zoom meetings. Her schedule's, Coco said her schedule's flexible, so am I. But you go to the office twice a week. So with me, I won't be going to the office at all. See, twice a week would be great for me. Even once a week would be great. But every day, like, and my job, there are days I'm not always busy. So I'm like, okay, if I end my day by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, what am I doing the rest of the day? Suggestions, ladies, suggestions. Because at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, everybody's going to be going back to work and I will literally be stuck at home. So I try not to think of it as a negative because some people would love to be at home. I am saving more money. So Kava said, I'm with you, Coco. So there's 2 people here who definitely love working from home and would love to do it. I guess after a while you would, but I think with me, I just kind of feel like I want to go to, because I actually like my coworkers. I like the people that I work with. I want to be able to see them in face to face. I like getting up and getting dressed to go to work. I like being in an office setting and doing meetings. I enjoyed it. And I've been at my job for almost, I think it's almost going on 5. I think it's almost 5 years. It's been 5 years already. I can't remember. So I actually like this. So Coco said, as far as clothes, I dress up and go grocery. She said she dressed up and goes grocery shopping. I'm with you. I haven't gotten dressed up to go grocery shopping. But today I went to pick my son from his dad's house. And I don't know why. I felt like I wanted to look decent. Because normally I just throw on a hat and I'm out. So I feel like I'll be one of those people like you, Coco. In the summertime, dress with heels, going to the grocery store, looking for other things to do. But by summertime, I wish, hi Pam, I wish by summertime, so we're talking about COVID and depression. I'm asking everyone, how do they deal with depression? We're talking about working from home. And I was mentioning to the ladies how working from home for me is not depressing, but it does bring me down when I think that I may be permanently working from home. So ladies, let me know, what have you been doing to deal with depression if you have had any during COVID, being down during COVID. I gave some great suggestions. So Steph said Steph said, hold on. The one thing about being at home is I spend more time making my space more inviting. But I completely get your position because part of living in the city is the life. Yes, Steph, that is part of the life. Anybody who watch Sex in the City? Yes. Like that is part, putting on your heels, putting your blazer on, your cute outfit. Like I have so many cute stuff. I still have tags in. And I can't wear that if I'm going to date night. And I don't have female friends that I can hang out with. I have like one in New York. So what am I going to do for my clothes? Like I'm literally going in my closet and I'm like, this is sad. I'm going to have all these clothes and never wear them. Like you have work clothes, going out clothes. I have a lot more work clothes than going out clothes because I work more than I went out. What am I going to do for all that stuff? So you understand my struggles, Steph. So Kava said, does going to or give you structure, routine, or just the interaction? So Kava, to answer your question, it's the routine is one thing, but I think it's the interaction. It's totally different when you're doing Zoom with your coworkers, because one, most of us don't even have our cameras on. So some of my coworkers, I don't even know how they look now after a year. So that's one. I worked with a team, it was all females. I managed a team of all women. So hi, Lorraine. We connected very well. We vibed very well. We talked. So we went to lunch together. It's just being in the city is just enjoying New York life, work life. Sometimes after work, you go for a drink with coworkers if that happens. So I'm going to just miss all of that in my position at my job. I used to travel. I used to go on business trips. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because my company is doing very well at working from home. So that may also stop where I won't be traveling for. So it's just a downer. So just imagine, and I'm giving my situation for those who are introverts or who actually like working from home. And again, ladies, when I say working from home, I mean permanently. Just think about it. You'll be working from home until you retire. Like, I'm literally in early retirement right now. Just that I'm still working. And my job is not stressful, but it's just like being at home all the time. Can you imagine you're being at home all the time? Who am I interacting with? My kids, and they don't really interact with me that much because they're always in their game. I have my mom who's, yeah. Then I have my boyfriend. I talk to my boyfriend so much that he's probably like, oh my God. Like, I don't really have anybody else to communicate with. So I'm constantly talking to him. And again, I'm doing the lives. So Steph, I miss going out. And the rest of us, thank you, Steph. Now, Steph, where are you located? Because she understands what I'm saying. She miss going out in the restaurants. Exactly. Hi, Dior. So Coco said, even though you're at home, still get dressed as if you're going to... Not Coco. I didn't think about getting dressed and going to act like I'm going to work. That might be kind of depressing for me. Like, really? This is a little bit good suggestion, but it might be a little depressing because, I mean, unless there's a Zoom meeting... I actually started doing that with my YouTube channel. So you could see compared to how I look now, plain face and just my head tie. My YouTube channels, I do my makeup, I do my videos. So that was another way of me dressing up and feeling good about myself. Because I haven't worn makeup in so long. So when I started doing YouTube, that kind of made me start wearing my makeup and stuff. So Steph said, Toronto, the food. I can't cook, so I need the restaurants. Exactly. Well, I could cook, but the restaurants, when I was working, were great. So now that I think I'm going to be working from home, all this time is not the same. So Pam said, yeah, it's hard. Being home, I've created. So I've been creative too. So I've been doing like I mentioned, reading and just looking for little things to do. Wintertime, I don't mind being home, but in the summertime, it's pretty sad. I feel like the weather's nice. Like, oh, it's 85 degrees today, 75 degrees today. I guess I'll just get in my car, which I do drive. I live in Brooklyn. So I get in my car and drive and walk around the park. So again, any ladies, what were you doing during COVID to keep yourself from staying positive? I know people did meditation. I can't do meditation. I tried guided meditation. I've tried different types of meditation. I cannot meditate. So I've given that up. I am still now looking at other things that could keep me up because there are days that I am down. There are days I feel down. There are days I wake up and I feel down and I just snap out of it, keep it going. So when my kids are around, that keeps me going because there's noise in the house, there's things going on. But when they're at their dad's house, then of course that's different because then I have to find something to do to entertain myself. So Coco said, I did it in the beginning of my teleworking. Then I got over it. I love my leggings and my t-shirt. Exactly. Like when I'm at work, let me tell you, I have my regular top. I have like the Zoom top. There's that one top. I have like two tops, different colors. I have my regular background and I have my pajama bottoms. Like, that's my Zoom outfit. So, and again, my meetings at my work, not everyone turns on their camera. Some people don't feel comfortable. And sometimes I don't turn on my camera. So, it's not as engaging. You just hear people talking in meetings. I mean, with my team, I have it where it's optional to turn on the cameras or not. But during the week, I do have a meeting where I'm not going to okay, everyone, we need to be on camera just to see each other's faces. So, again, if you have any people that you don't live on their own, please check on them. This is also time to think of anyone you think may be going through depression. It could be a friend, even a coworker, or even someone on Instagram that you noticed has put a post and you're like, oh, they put a post that they look like they're down. Because I found that people are actually, very pretty much transparent on Instagram. So if you go on Instagram and you see a person who's down, just reach out to them. Just send them a comment and, you know, DM saying, are you okay? Are you there? I've done it numerous times. If I see somebody posting something or made a video that they're down, I definitely connect. I've connected with so many women, and it's honestly been a great experience, this breast cancer community. I found a lot of women who's been very positive, and then there's been a lot of women also who's going through a lot of things. And as women, we go through a lot, ladies. So never get down on yourself. Never feel like you're the only one who's going through a tough time. We all going through a tough time. And being in this breast cancer community has made me feel better, because prior to speaking my truth on Instagram, I kept it to myself. And a lot of times I felt like I was the only one going through it, to be honest. There's plenty of times I was like, Farrah, you're the only one who's going through this. And in all honesty, I was the only one going through it, because I don't know anybody else that was going through it at that time. So if I had a side effect or I felt a type of way, I didn't have anyone I could connect with. So I got the therapy, and then I started my Instagram page. And once I started my Instagram page, I found thousands of women who are going through the same thing, either on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that made me feel somewhat good. Like, Farrah, you're not the only one going through feeling down. You're not the only one who's working from home who may not be happy. You're not the only one who's having so many side effects from your medications and you don't know which one's causing. You're not the only one who has treatment and get depressed. There are thousands of women that's even going through worse things than you're going through right now, who's lost family members while they're going through cancer and because of COVID, who's had COVID while they're going through cancer and doing treatment and had to stop their treatment. So there's been a lot of sad stories I've seen on Instagram, but I've also seen a lot of positive women who's doing what I'm doing. Hey, Carl Hermersh. So we're talking about COVID. Well, I'm talking about COVID and depression with the ladies. We're just, you know, we're just talking about what we need to, what are the best things to do for us mentally. And I made some suggestions. If you have any, let me know. So Coco's, while in with you, I felt alone. So Coco, you're not alone. I'm right here. And there's a lot of other women here. I honestly felt alone for years. So again, I've been in this whole breast cancer journey for 10 years. And no one knew about it. So I really came out like, oh, I'm coming out. Yeah, I really came out this in January. Fully. Where I put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook. I'm starting a YouTube channel. So it made, at first I was nervous. Like, let me tell you, when I told, like, I made the video. I don't know if anyone got to see my video. Go on my YouTube channel. You'll see it when I basically talk. You know, it was my first video, like an intro to my journey. I broke down crying and I was so scared. I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually going to put that out there. There are women there. There are people, women, men, whoever that was on my Facebook who I went to school with, who were former co-workers, who never had an idea that I had cancer. So when I put it out there on Facebook and Instagram, people were like, what? You had breast? You mean 10 years? And it came back. Like, people were in total shock. But it made me feel good because it was all positivity, which I was expecting. I didn't think anybody would be negative to it. And I think one of my concerns was I didn't want people to be like, oh, there goes the breast cancer woman. There's the breast cancer lady. I didn't want me to be associated with breast cancer. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I didn't want people to, I didn't want that to be the first thing people thought about when they saw me. Hi, Cara. That was me. I was shocked and no idea. Yes, so there's someone here who's on the live. She's known me for years. We used to take the train together. We were both working in Manhattan. And she never knew. And we spoke about everything, right? Call her. We spoke about everything from relationship to even personal stuff on the train. And not one time did she know I went through breast cancer. So she, like many others, found out online that I was going through breast cancer. I had breast cancer, going through it, went through it. And a lot of people just saw me with a short haircut and was like, oh, what happened? I'm like, oh, I decided to cut my hair low. So no one even thought about it. And again, call her. I felt like if I did mention to her, it wouldn't have been anything where she looked at me negative. But I think in my head, I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I don't want that look, oh, you have cancer. Oh, you have breast cancer. That was one. I didn't want people to start making me feel bad or feel bad about it. You know, I feel like when you tell somebody or person who doesn't have breast cancer or never had it, they kind of like, oh my God, you had breast cancer, and automatically they feel sad for you. They feel bad for you. I didn't want that. But when you tell someone else who had breast cancer, it's kind of like, oh, I had it too. And it's more like empowering each other. So that's why I think I didn't want that. Oh, Farrah, the one with the breast cancer, the one that had the breast cancer. I think that was one. And I think it was with me. I don't think I really dealt with it. It was kind of like I had it. I got through it. I kept moving. I won't say I didn't accept it, but I think it was one of those things that happened. Like, okay, I had breast cancer. I did chemo. It went away. Leave it alone. It's back there. Don't open the door. Close the door. Throw away the key, and that's it. So my therapist opened me up. So call her, said, you inspired me to cut my hair because I thought it was fabulous. Never knowing you cut it for a reason. Well, I'm happy. Look, I influenced you to cut your hair. So that was a good thing. So yeah, a lot of people thought I just cut my hair just to cut it. But no, I had to cut it. Well, I didn't cut it. But of course, it was because of chemo and I was bald-headed. So when it grew back, I loved the short haircut and I left it. But as far as, again, dealing with COVID, I don't know if anyone had any family members who passed away from COVID. If you did, I'm so sorry for your loss. Millions, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people has passed away from this virus. So it's very sad. Deal with depression. One huge suggestion, ladies, is stop watching the news sometimes. Because in the beginning, all I heard was death toll. Today's death toll is this. Today's death toll is that. And it just made me so paranoid that I didn't even want to step outside my door. Like, I felt like the minute I stepped out, I was going to have it and die. So I stopped listening to the news. That has helped me tremendously. I also started again speaking and being around people that are positive. And I just think now, because I did get the vaccine, things will be better. I start thinking more into the future, like, oh, this summer I want to go away. And whenever I feel down, I try to think of what my future is going to be in a positive way. I agree with you. I stopped too. So call her. Yeah, just stop watching the news. At this point, whatever that's going to be of urgency for us to know, we'll see it on Instagram. So ladies, this was the reason I wanted to do the live today, to talk about COVID and depression. I hope some of my tips helped some of you. Again, a lot of my tips were reading books, going back and watching sitcoms from back in the day, exercising, listening to inspirational music, listening to music, doing Instagram, doing YouTube. Maybe you have friends you could hang out with your mask, just finding ways to distract yourself mentally. Because again, depression is all mental. So whenever you feel down, find anything to distract yourself. And again, any ladies here, whenever you feel down and you need somebody to support you mentally, to give you some words of encouragement, hit me up on Instagram, send me a comment. I'm always here to listen. As anybody knows, I am here to support. So call her, send me too. I'm getting married. She got married 3 months. Now, yes. Oh, I didn't know. Call her, ladies. Let's talk. Congratulations. She's getting married in 3 months. Congratulations, because I think you were scheduled to get married last year during COVID, I think. But congratulations. I'm very happy. I want to see all those pictures on Instagram. Look, something to look forward to. I'm not getting married, but I'm definitely looking forward to a vacation coming up. So ladies, instead of staying down, think of things to look forward to in the summertime, the springtime. Oh yeah, last year, call her. I was supposed to get married. COVID, now she's getting married in 3 months. Oh my God, get everything together. I want to see pictures. I want to see the video. I want to see everything. I want to see the dress. I want to see the bridesmaids' dresses. I want to see everything. I'm so excited for you. So ladies, again, just stay in a positive state. There's a lot of things that could bring us down. Some of you may not be able or not working. Congratulations. Everyone say congratulations. So just try to stay in a mental state and never think you're the only one going through it. There's always someone in a situation that is worse than yours. There are plenty of people that is in a worse situation. Stay positive, ladies. If you ever need me, I'm here on Instagram. I have a Facebook account, but I'm mostly on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post. I give tips about things. My next video coming soon. I will be talking about wigs and picking the right wigs. I'm going to be posting a video about my experience with the vaccine. So that's it, ladies. I felt like we had a good conversation about COVID and also depression. But I'm here to support, and I know all you ladies here have been supporting me, and I thank you so much. So this is the end of my live. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great evening, ladies, and stay positive. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, Surviving Breast Cancer. What, ladies? Stilettos. Bye.